Welcome to the Runs podcast. We are back. It's me and it's Nicky, and it feels like it was only the other day we were recording, but that was because it was only the other day because we were Thursday with Aled, and it's Monday today because our guest has got a busy schedule. So, what's happening, Nick? How's it been?
All right, how are you? Yeah, it seems like, it was only, obviously we've seen each other over the weekend now, but it seems like only yesterday Aled was on, and now we're back again. It was a quick turnaround.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was quite sociable on the weekend. I actually went out. We had a surprise leave-in do for player junior Harvey, who's off travelling Europe and the world. It was nice to get out and have a couple of pints. It was a good good evening.
It was good, good turnout, we had a good laugh. Yeah, you had a pint, which was nice.
I couldn't find a pint. Like I had 3 pints of lager, and I thought that's disgusting. I had 3 Copperbergs, and then my teeth were like a xylophone. So then I had a couple of gins in, and then we went down to your house to watch the boxing, didn't we?
Yeah, we came back here after and watched a good fight between Fury and Sick. And sorry for all British fans that love Fury, but I was glad he was Sick one because Fury's a bell end.
He doesn't look like a boxer, does he? He might as well have brooms for arms. Like, it must be so hard to hit him when he gets his arms out.
I know, he's huge, broke me.
I know. But it's mad, isn't it? We know absolutely zero about boxing, but it looks like they're like touching each other. And then I seen the press conference the day after, and they were both quite cut up and beat up.
I think I seen out on Insta today the press conferences obviously missed yesterday, and they both looked battered.
Absolutely. We have to special mention to the buffet up the crossing in my steak. Sensational buffet. Quite possibly the nicest tuna wraps I've ever tasted in my life. And the pizza was hot.
Pizza was hot, and those chicken goujons were unreal. Or poppers, whatever. They were ridiculous. So, thanks to the Cross for supplying the food.
Yeah. Peely's been calling them poppers in the WhatsApp, but...
Yeah, that's what made me confusing.
They were poppers.
Yeah, they were huge, weren't they? They were like in between a goujon and a nugget, so I don't know what. Nuggets we'll go with.
Yeah, let's call them nuggets for the sake of consistency. Very nice, well done to the Crossing on a wonderful buffet. If you're in my steak and you're looking for a party, I can recommend the buffet in the Crossing. No ad, just something we enjoyed, and we're shouting them out.
Yeah, and it's my local. So,
this is Nicky's local as well, and a lovely little pub, really.
Yeah, it is.
Good. We were races on the weekend as well. Let's recap a couple of the races on the weekend. You've got a race coming up this week as well. And my running shoes are still gathering dust. But I did eat a healthy lunch today, so we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Small steps.
I'm not going to say I wish I wasn't going on holidays, because I can't wait to go on holidays. But that's like subconsciously 3 weeks away, and it's like I might as well just wait 3 weeks now and then have a proper crack at it now when we get back and sort my life out.
Yeah, that's sort of
that's done in record books, and then the holidays over, and then
no more excuses. Basically, you've got no more excuses.
I've got nothing to blame anymore then, and every day I don't train. Marathon is coming closer as well. I know it's still a year away, but that will fly.
That will fly.
And I can't be out. If I get into London, I can't have photos on London Bridge of me looking awful in our very own vests. So
you have to train.
We need to do the curls as well, though. So we've got biceps in them vests as well. Happy days. What races did we have this week? I know there was 2. Was it Cardiff Bay 10?
Cardiff Bay 10K Sunday morning, and Usain and 10K. That was Sunday as well, I think. Yeah, they were both Sunday.
Yeah, they were both Sunday.
Don't know if any other.
Busy. That was a massive race, was it?
Cardiff Bay is quite big. Yeah, it's a big one. It's become bigger.
But that looked good. That was banging conditions. A bit too hot, probably.
Yeah, it was too hot. Varan said it was too hot. I've seen other people saying it. Ford said it was too hot. Loads of people I've seen saying it was hard work, because it was quite a late start out as well. It was supposed to be 11, and I think it was like delayed 15 minutes, so it would have been hot like by midday, innit?
Yeah. How did Varan do? How's he doing?
Well, I don't think he got the time he wanted, but I think he was 13th overall, he said, so decent. Like, Derby was third, and sub 29. Yeah, he was only like a couple of seconds behind. The front two were literally a sprint finish. Derby just behind with a sub 29. Yeah, I think Matt was like 33 low, so still a good run, like, in hard conditions.
Yeah. He's gone a bit dark online as well, hasn't he? Unless he's just fallen out of my algorithm, but I haven't seen much from him.
Yeah, no, he's not. Yeah, I don't know what's happened with his Insta, yeah. Sort your game out, Matt. We did have a chat with us yesterday. And he's requested in the Sunday Club group now. We all got to start telling him when we're racing, what we're racing, and we've got to supply him the pictures so he doesn't have to go doing the work.
Yeah.
But this week, Matt Safa, I know you were there as well, but I'm at Safa, and you are.
Yeah. Matt, if we need some work on videography, give me a shout. I'm a hobbyist, but we can catch up and do some stuff. I'll have a crack, something to do, innit?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Before we get on to go signing as well, I just remembered my brother's mate, but my mate as well, Shandy, lives up in Chester now, and he's started running.
Yeah.
But his missus has started running as well, and she ran Chester this weekend in about 2.5.
Was that half, is it? Yeah.
27 degrees.
Was it?
27
that must have been horrible.
I think, Grace, if you're listening, and I'm wrong, but I think it was her first half. So 2.5 in 27 degrees is bloody flying.
Yeah, for your first one, if it was that hot, that must be torture, because they're hard enough anyway in half. That degrees for that long. Oof, fair play.
Outrageous. And go signing is... I've always wanted to do this race, but obviously I haven't. But it's only down the road from me. I think it got discontinued for a very long time, and it's only just been brought back in the last couple of years. They've started running it again.
All right.
10K again around the streets, I think. Yeah. And our mate, Jimmy Watkins, ran it. His first competitive race back, he said on Instagram, for a long time.
Yeah, it looks quite hilly, doesn't it, from the profile I've seen after.
Yeah. But he's been working hard, haven't he? I said this on his Instagram post. If you don't follow Jimmy, you should, because his Jimmy versus Strava videos are outrageous.
Yeah, and
it's just worth watching him for his beef with his fitness score dying in his sleep.
It's getting him every day on his Strava. Yeah, like he must pay for like the thing, and he obviously gives us. I don't see it because I don't have that. I'm tight. I only got basic Strava. But yeah, he's like. Yeah. His score, he was going up, and he had a bit of a down, and then he had to like try and fight his way back. So yeah, I don't think he was too happy from his Strava post, was he? But his time, but I think it was pretty decent. What did we just say it was? 36 low?
36. Yeah, he said in his Instagram post he wanted 34, 35, and he ended up crossing the line in 36. We've obviously got very different opinions on that. 36 is 35 as far as I'm concerned, but you proper runners know the difference between that. But well done, Jimmy.
I'll take well done, Jimmy. Awesome. I'll take a 36 now for Pascal in 7 weeks.
That's my next race. 7 weeks. I'm only going to have about a month to train for that, aren't I?
Well, no, you've got 7 weeks. There is, your holiday isn't tomorrow, like, and you're not going away for 3 weeks. You have got 3 weeks to start if you want to.
I'll go tomorrow.
I'm holding it.
There will be a post on my Strava that I've been for a run before anyone sees this episode.
Yeah.
I need to do it, but I don't know what's stopping me. Like I said, I still can't get out of bed in the morning. Mind you, I was awake at 5:30 this morning to snooze my alarm for an hour and 10 minutes before I got up. So
there you go. There's your time.
First alarm. Happy days. What have you got? You've got a race coming up, Bo?
Yeah, Wednesday night, the first of the Safa 5K series down in Cardiff, Blue Park. It's usually a good one. It's flat, fast. Yeah, I'm not just come back from holidays. I'm feeling all right. Done the first couple of sessions this week. Wednesday with the club, and then Saturday done like a little short session and a tempo park run. But yeah, so me, Scott, and Harvey are going down. I think that both them two are looking to go sub 19 again. So I'm going to try and pace them and set off like 18:45, and hopefully they can hold on to me. Because Harvey's going away in a week after, so he wants to get that sub 19 before he goes. It's his last chance.
He is going Coming soon. Well done, Arv, for appreciating the effort your mother and father done to go into the party, because the nerves were high that he was going to rip the cross down to the ground, wasn't it? But I think he enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, he did in the end. He said yesterday he enjoyed it.
Good. So that's coming up. You've got that. That's a so what I was asking. Sorry, I'm sending a link as well. I am.
Sorry,
series. How long is the series?
So it's one a month now. So it's towards the end. I think it's like the last week or the week before the last end of month. So May, June, July. Series of races. It's to do with the armed forces, and it's a good charity as well. Linked to it. So maybe if we can chuck a link in for that. So it's pretty cheap as well. I think it's £8. And it's usually a good race. Like, you'll have a big field, fast. Like I say, it's flat. It's in Bute Park. You do the bottom park run loop and then up around, reverse park run sort of way and back down the cycle path and back in. So it's a good one.
Is it that every race, or then are there different races?
No, it's the same then. Same course once a month for this May, June, July. And then they do like an overall series. You don't have to enter them all. I've only entered one of them because I don't know where I am or what I'm going to be doing later, June, July. Yeah, and you just enter then, and entries on the night as well, I'm sure, and get down and run fast. Hold on for 5k.
Yeah, good. How was my Stag Park run on the weekend?
Yeah, that was all right. Grant showed up. He was there. He had a little hit out, his first one since London, so he flew off in the distance up the first hill and was never seen again. But yeah, it was all right then. Yeah, I felt not too bad tempo in it, sub 20 just about, but yeah, it wasn't bad.
See, I don't need to hear things like Grant taking a break after London, because then it means our athletes, we do take breaks.
Yeah, I think he had like a week off, he said. Then he had an easy week, and then he had an illness for a week, so it sort of rolled all right for him. But then, that was his first effort back. He said, a bit of an effort, and he looked all right for, like, he done 17:30. It looked like it was easy jogging around there.
Good. Before we get our guest on, my brother asked me a question as well about running shoes, and I said, I don't know, I'll find out the answer on the pod. And I think it doesn't really matter to him, that's what I told him. But like, he said, what's advisable with new shoes? Like, how much of a run do you need to give him before race day? He's not wearing two carbon plates or anything.
Yeah.
All the shoes he's got are everyday shoes. So I said, I don't think it really matters too much with everydays.
No, but to be honest, nowadays I don't think it matters even with the top racing shoes, only for basically getting the feel for them. So what they like my ones I bought new then for like racing in, I would literally do 1 or 2 runs in them before, like maybe week before I do my last sort of effort. So not a flat out full session in them, but like say a 3 by 10 minutes in them, just to get a feel of them at the race pace. And then use them on race day. I've never done, for any of my Vaporfly, Alphafly, I've never done anything more than 1 or 2 runs in them before then running a marathon or an half in them. And I think it'd be the same in a general everyday trainer. They're not going to give you any issues unless you don't like them. There is an arch issue or something like that. But then you've already bought them. It's not a lot you can do. You could send them back, I suppose, if you're within the time limit of the warranty or whatever it is. But yeah, I'd say you don't even need to nowadays.
It's probably a bit more with them top-end shoes is getting the value for money out of them as well, and you're not going to
exactly
shitload of miles into them before it, because you're going to end up buying a new pair sooner than you would otherwise, isn't it?
Exactly, because they're so high quality, the Zoom foam and everything on the Nikes, they can wear out less, you don't get as many miles, so you don't want to be ripping around training in them before you're going to use them in marathons. Like a lot of mine now, towards the end of their life, high mileage I use for training now and like sessions, because they're obviously not dead, but like coming to the end of their life, I'll use them because I don't want to use them on a race day anyway.
There we are. Banging. There we are, Al. Some free advice from you, from a pro shopper of shoes. A tester of shoes and runner. Right, we have got a bit different this week. You've probably seen it on our stories. We've got a sprinter in.
And none of us know much about sprinting.
All I know is I'd rather be the fastest kid in the yard than the hardest kid in the yard.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, I'd probably the same, I
think because then you just want to be the fastest, don't you? At least you can run away from the hard kid. Like.
That's what I was just going to say. At least if the hardest does start, then you can just run away because he's too fast.
But we don't know anything about sprinting really, apart from obviously Usain Bolt used to stop the world for 9 seconds when he was running in Olympic finals and stuff like that. So it'd be nice to dive into all this with Hannah and find out a bit more about that. She was requested when we put together Dream Guests a couple of months ago, and I reached out to her and she got straight back in touch and said, let's do it. And obviously we've been away and chopping and changing. So it's going to be good to finally get her on. So shall we see what she's got to say?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do that. Welcome back. We have got Hannah Brier with us now. How's it going, Hannah? You okay?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to make you, sorry you can't go out in the sun. I was out the garden thinking, I can't believe I'm making people sit in on a podcast when it's scorching outside, so I do apologise for that. But hopefully it's here to stay. Yeah, you've just come back from the sun, have you?
Yeah, well, I've been all over the place really. I went for about 10 days in Portugal on a warm weather training camp. Then flew to Belfast, which was actually surprisingly sunny. And I'm off to Brussels this weekend and Switzerland. I'm all over the place.
Bloody hell.
Nice.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not
bad. Excellent. Before we get on to that, we always throw it back to like school and where you started competing and sports and stuff like that. So was sports in your bag in school? What was your sports back then?
Yeah, I did absolutely everything at school. I was that kid who would just run and run and run and would be like teacher's pet when it came to PE because I loved it. I did everything. I started off with netball, hockey. Was pretty good at that. I actually did a bit of ballet as well outside of school, which was very different to what I'm doing now. But then there was like a common theme that I was a little bit quick. So I got sent down to Swansea Harriers, and yeah, that's where I've been ever since, really.
So you were sent to, like, not banished to Swansea Harriers, obviously, but who sent you to, what was the situation of that? How'd you get, I don't get sent to running clubs, like no one headhunts me to go running for them. So how do you get sent down to Swansea Harriers, I guess?
So I was sent there by my PE teacher at the time. So it was actually primary school, and it was sports day, and I ended up winning like all the races. And she was like, do you know what? You might actually be very good at running, so you might as well just go down to Swansea Harriers, give it a go. She gave me my first pair of spikes, and yeah, off I went. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster since then, really.
That's amazing. And you always get them teachers, or she's the one that's getting a thank you when you like pick up a gold, throw it right back to her, and it wouldn't be possible without her getting you your first spikes. Like, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, proper cool. I still keep in touch with her now as well, which is really nice.
There we are. Excellent. So, Swansea Harriers, but you left school, and did you go to uni? Did you go to work, or have you been straight into running and traveling the world from there, or how does it work?
How does it work? So I went on to sixth form. I actually made my first Commonwealth Games when I was in year 11, so I was very, very young. I was doing my GCSEs alongside athletics, and then I had loads of offers then from different colleges. Like come to America, come and do your sixth form experience out in America, or go to some private school in England and do it all there and board up there. And I actually stayed put. I stayed and did my A-levels in Slavera, in Swansea Valley. And, I loved it. And I did my A-levels, did my S-levels, did my A-levels alongside competing on like the world stage, which was really, really, really tough. It was really, there's no other words for that apart from it was really difficult. Yeah. And then went ahead to Loughborough Uni then and did my degree there, then did a master's and decided to come back to Cardiff because obviously you can take the girl out of Wales, but you can't take Wales out of the girl. So yeah.
Well, obviously you've got choices of America and you stayed in Swansea.
I stayed in Swansea, of Slavera of all places, but I loved it. I'm a bit of a home girl, and it was the right choice for me.
Yeah. Looking back though, it's so easy for us to sit there and then go, wow. Like me and Nicky watch a lot of NFL as well, so like you're familiar with the pathways and stuff like that. Any regrets of not going off to America for schooling? Or it sounds like you've just done the right path anyway and you've loved it.
Sometimes I look back and I go, God, what if I had taken that leap and gone, to America and seen, what I could have been and what I could have done. But I think, my journey as an athlete, I've picked up so many injuries along the way. And I think going over to America, that training regime and all of that is really tough.
Yeah.
I don't think my body would have coped with that if I'd have gone over there. I mean, blinking heck, the experience, it would have been amazing because the competitions over there, the whole scholarship setup is outstanding. So my God, it would have been an amazing experience. But I think long-term development, I think it was definitely the right call for me.
Yeah, who knows? You get into them Red Cup parties and then running's out the window and it's drunk a tank all the time, man, isn't it?
Exactly, and I bet is it exactly like what they show in the movies, isn't it?
That's all we think America is like, movies.
It's all like the movies, but yeah, I think sometimes I have regrets. Sometimes, I don't. I love Swansea. I know it sounds really silly, but it's where I grew up, and this is where I perform best. So I know I'm happy.
Banging, excellent. Commonwealth Games in year 11. But I struggled to do GCSEs just with no other distractions.
Yeah.
So, how did your year 11 look? It must have been wild. Not for the Red Cup reasons, but all the time.
It wasn't wild. Yeah, it wasn't wild. All the parties, all of that. Definitely the other end of the spectrum. It was tough. I think it's just my whole diary is busy. I'm grateful for my parents because at that point, obviously, I couldn't drive, so they would drive me everywhere. But it would be go to school Monday to Friday. Get up early, get on the bus, go to school, do my school, come back. Then my parents would drive me to the track, which would either be in Swansea, which is fine, because I live in Neath, so that's about half an hour, drive down there, or it would be in Cardiff. So I'd drive to Cardiff, which is an hour there and back for training. And then I'd come back from training, I'd literally eat and pull out my books and revise for my GCSEs until like 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the evening, go to bed and do it all over again. And then, that was Monday to Friday. And then on the weekends, then I was competing. So I'd be either up and down the M4, all the way up to Glasgow sometimes to compete, or I'd be driving to Heathrow Airport to get on a plane to go to another country and compete abroad. And then that would be my weekend. So it was tough, to say the least.
That must have been crazy, so young as well, taking all that in, trying to obviously stay focused with school, because obviously it is important, but then trying to compete at an unbelievable level at that age. That's just mad. Blows my mind.
It was, do you know what, it was, when I look back, I think, oh my God, how on earth did I do that? But it's, I put it down to just having a really good support network around me. Like my teachers got it, my parents got it, my friends were absolutely amazing. They understood that I couldn't go to these house parties and, do all these little wild things that 16, 17-year-olds used to do. They understood that. And then, when it came to the Commonwealth Games then and I was selected, it all was worth it. And even results day, I was thinking, God, how on earth did I get those results considering I was never here? But yeah, it was all worth it. It was just the people around me made it so much easier.
That's mad. It's like a Valley's version of King Richard. You ever seen King Richard? And the kids, Serena and Venus in the back of the car revising in between places and stuff like that.
Honestly, it was a little bit like that. My revision books would come with me everywhere. Everyone's laughing because I'd have my kit bag and then I'd have my school bag, which would have all of my revision notes in it. And I'd be in the car, beside my mum, just flicking through chemistry and trying to get to grips with algebra. But it was worth it in the end.
Definitely. So what year was that? What Commonwealth Games was that?
That was Glasgow in 2014.
What was that like as a year 11? But you're not the only year 11, are you?
No. There's obviously a few youngsters go. But I was the youngest on that team. So for the athletics team, I was definitely the youngest there. And but you know what? It was insane. Everyone's so worried about going so young, and there was a few people saying, oh, she might be too young for this. Sometimes maybe, I was a little bit too young, but do you know what? It set me up for my future because it was a blinking good experience. Like, I was in the dining hall sitting with like Usain Bolt having dinner. Like, it was just madness, but I loved it.
That's mad, isn't it? Because
we
had... That's Usain Bolt keeps cropping up. We're going to get him on eventually because Jimmy Watkins had a story about him off air, right? Once we'd finished, Jimmy, I don't know if you've listened back to any of the episodes, but we had Jimmy Watkins on, and he told us these mad stories, fantastic stories. And off air, he was like, "Oh, I forgot to say my Usain Bolt story." So we're like the 7? How many degrees of separation is it? We're getting close to him now.
Yeah,
but
close.
And he was like peaking as well, I imagine, was he?
Yeah, like he was doing, what did he do? He did the 100 and the relay. But it was quite hard to get close to him, mind, in the village. Like, everyone was asking for photos, but he had like security guards around him all the time. So there was me, little 16-year-old, being like, "Please, can I have a photo? You think my mum would love this?" But yeah, we couldn't get close enough, so that 16-year-old dream was crushed. But yeah, he was competing. So I saw him in the distance, but he was having food. But I couldn't quite get to grips with what he was eating. But
was he eating chicken nuggets? Because it's that famous story that he saw yet when it out in, was it Tokyo? That all he would eat was chicken nuggets.
Do you know what? And that's why I think he was covering his food, because I think he had so many questions about what he was eating that time.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was chicken nuggets. So.
But like you said, that's an excellent grounding to catapult onto the next events and everything for you as well. Same but different. You see it with like, I know it's completely different, but it's the same as well, isn't it? But they took Jude Bellingham to the World Cup, last World Cup, with no intention of playing him, just to get him around the atmosphere and around the environment, ready for the next one, really, isn't it? So you 2008, how did that go for you?
So we did the relay. So we made the final, we broke the Welsh record. And Welsh Athletics actually threw me into an individual event as well, even though I didn't qualify. But they went, to set you up for the future, because we can tell that you're going to be good. We'll put you in the 100 meters as well. And that was terrifying. Oh my gosh. To this day, I look back on that race and go, wow, that's the most nervous I've ever been. Even though it was a home crowd, and everyone was on the home crowd in Scotland, but the Scottish love the Welsh, don't they? So they were just loving every second of it. But I was terrified. It shouldn't have been terrifying, because I was standing on the start line and they were blasting like, "I will walk 500 miles," wherever it is, over the speakers, like, and I was there just like this little 16-year-old quivering. But that set me up really well then, because in the relay afterwards we smashed it and we got to the final, broke the Welsh records, and it catapulted me onto the international stage, and that was my first experience of it.
What leg did you run?
I run the first leg, so I had all the camera stuff on the start line, which was also another big experience that I wasn't used to, because I had to practice my whole intro, didn't I? And I was like, oh God, what do I do when the camera comes around? Yeah, I was like, oh God, all these athletes are doing all these really fancy intros, and I can't sit there and just wave and be like, "Hi, Mum," like.
You've got your Key Stage 3 book reading that. Key Stage 3
I mean, I can tell you all the equations in algebra, because that's all I've done for the last 6 months.
That's amazing. And then you qualify for the next one, 2012 then as well?
Well, ish. So the next one was in Gold Coast, and I had the qualifying standard, and I tore my hamstring. So I didn't end up going. So I had the qualifying standard the year before, and then tore my hamstring, a big hamstring tear, the year of the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast. So it was a bit of a difficult year, which is why then when it came to Birmingham in 2022, I was like, right, I need redemption. To go. It was a redemption year. Oh my gosh, yeah, big time.
That's amazing. Oh, imagine that. Who wants to go to the Gold Coast? I'm sure you've been back since, and you'll go back again anyway.
Do you know what's so annoying? It was like, right, I've been to Glasgow, missed Gold Coast, and then I was like, right, the next one now, there'll be somewhere lovely, Birmingham. I was like, brilliant. Back to the UK we go. Oh, God.
Yeah, but it's struggling now, isn't it, to even get a host, the commies? It's a nightmare. It's looking like, well, I don't know, they've offered a few. Is it Glasgow? I think it might be going back, I've last seen.
Yeah, I think they really struggled because I think it went to obviously it was meant to be in Australia. Then it
Yeah.
went to, I think it was Malaysia. Then it came back, I think, to Birmingham, and now it's gone to Glasgow. And it's we're not sure. In all fairness, we've heard a few rumours in the pipeline. I'm praying, along with other Welsh athletes, we're just praying it goes somewhere.
Yeah.
I've been pushing for Cardiff, but I don't think Welsh Athletics would love that. I've been like, go on, let's have it in Cardiff. Why not?
It should. Yeah, but it'd be a shame, because if it, say, as you had the great experience, you can blood younger, because obviously you've got the 4 home nations, or is it 3 or 4? I can't remember how you do it. But yeah, it's a chance for younger athletes to then get there. It's obviously Europeans, Worlds and Olympics are a lot harder to qualify for. So the commies then gives us a chance now to have Welsh representation as well.
Yeah, that, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head there. It's a lovely stepping stone for young athletes to go through, and we never get opportunities to put on a Welsh vest, because in other sports you've got loads of things there's loads of chances to represent Wales, whereas in athletics it's you kind of got to jump to the games and compete for Britain. There's no chance to put on your Welsh vest, so it's so special.
So 2008 and then 2022.
Go back to 2008, 2014.
2014, I'm sorry. It keeps breaking up. What's in between that gap?
So 2014, then I got very injured for 2018, which was the Gold Coast. And then amongst all of this, I was at university as well, which was quite entertaining because I was in Loughborough. And then we hit a pandemic, so I did what everyone else to do, was doing in pandemic, and I was going, oh, what can I do and change my life? How can I occupy my brain, and what am I going to do? And I decided to come home, so I moved home from Loughborough, did a master's in Cardiff, and joined my coach now, which is Matt Elias, and then things really, really took off there. I broke the Welsh record of 100 metres. Qualified for the next Commonwealth Games. It was pretty much a few redemption years, like we like to call it, is like the comeback after having such a big hamstring injury and being out for a little time. We did a big comeback, and then I qualified for the Birmingham Commonwealth Games. And I've started touching base on the GB setting now, which is really exciting. So I'm sort of making the progress that I should have made a few years ago. But that hamstring injury got in the way, so we're getting there.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. That must have been quite a tear.
Yeah, it was. It was a grade 2 bordering on grade 3 tear. So I'm not sure if you know any of that stuff, but grade 2 to 3 is quite serious. So you're looking at a couple of weeks of no running, and where I tore my hamstring was right by the tendon, so it was sort of where the muscle was attaching to the bone, so there was no blood supply there, so it couldn't heal properly, and it was really difficult. So I had lots of doctor's appointments, lots of injections in hamstrings that I really didn't want to have, and it was really painful. So but it was a couple of months of just grin and bear it and hope for the best.
I don't want to get too Stephen Bartlett and Diary of a CEO, obviously, but how did you cope during that kind of time? Was that struggle then as well? Yeah,
it did. It really struggled. Mentally, it was really tough because you sort of had to prepare for for trying to run fast, and you had to stay in an athlete mindset. And then I was going through those years where all you wanted to do was just go out and enjoy with your friends. But I was like, no, you need to rehab this injury. You need to stay on top of it. Still have some fun along the side, but everyone kept reminding me come on, Hannah, you can do this. Keep going. So it was mentally really tough. And it was hard seeing other people do well as well, because when you're an athlete, you're so competitive and you just want to get out there and just do it all like everyone else, and you couldn't run, and it was difficult. But I think it's prepared me so much better for now, because I look back at it and go, God, if I can get through that, I can get through anything.
Yeah, that must be buzzing, because well done, dickhead.
literally, yeah. Honestly, it's so weird, because it's I really want to be happy for you, and I am happy for you, but at the same time, I'm really struggling. So it's I need to catch up.
Oh, excellent. How long have you been training with Matt for now?
I've been training with Matt since 2020, so 4 years. Yeah.
And he's pushing you up towards longer distance, the 400 now, isn't he? You've been doing.
He is. Yeah, he is. Like, obviously, Matt in himself, he's a multiple international stage medalist over 4 hurdles.
Yeah.
So he's always joked. He's always gone, "Oh, Hannah, you'd be really good at 400s," and I've always gone, "No, that Matt, that's way too far. Like, I can't run that far. Like, let's not talk about it." And then last year, I was really struggling with the sport again. I was having one of those dilemmas where I was like, I'm just not enjoying it. Life is, getting in the way, and it was really tough. And yeah, we just decided, stuff it. Let's just try a 400, just as a laugh, like genuinely just see what happens, because we don't have a clue, where I'm going to be. And I actually ended up running quite well. So unfortunately, much to Matt's delight, I am now stuck at 400. So it's good. I'm enjoying it.
Well, yeah, you had a big PB. Was it last week?
Yeah. Last week. Yeah, I was in Belfast, and it's actually it's quite a weird story because I'm so new at the 400, so like I haven't really got a name for myself, and to get into big races, you kind of have to have a name for yourself, and they have to be like, "Oh, she's going to run well." So we were emailing like meet organisers, being like, "Please let me in," like begging to let me into these races. Like, I promise I'll run fast. Like, I'm willing to do anything. I'll pace make, and that's how I got in. I was like, he was like, "Yeah, you can come in. You've got a lane, but you have to pace make an 800 for me." And I was like, "Wow, okay, but you know what? Fine, I'll come and do it. That's no problem. As long as I've got a lane in the 400, I'll pace make an 800 afterwards. Fine." So I booked flights. I found out on the Thursday, and then literally booked flights Thursday evening. Flew out from Cardiff at 8 o'clock the next morning to race. I knocked off over a second off my PB. Went like 4th all time. Threw up everywhere because it was the most painful thing in the world. And then had to pace make an 800. So that was.
That was a fun night.
Oh, do you know what? Like, they asked me to go through in 58 and 58 seconds, and considering I just run 52 seconds, I was like, "Oh, this will be a breeze. It'll be fine." Oh my god, it was so painful. Like, so painful.
How long did you have in between?
Well, see, I had 2 hours. Okay, so that seems like a lot of time.
Yeah.
But when you spend like an hour and a half of it being sick on the floor,
well, up to your eyeballs in lactic probably from running a 100 sprint.
Yeah. It's not a long, and there's only so many Jaffa cakes that can get you off the floor to the start line again. So, no, I did it. So it was good fun.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'd have been gone as I would have.
Oh, it was quite funny.
You didn't say I had to pace an 800, I'm off.
Yeah, it was hilarious though, because I'd run so well, and then I was on the floor, and the meet organizer was like, "Are you going to be okay for this 800? I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And he's like, "Well, you're going to have to be because we've got no one else." I was like, "Oh god." Oh. I was all right. I'll get myself up now as I'm being dragged off the floor. But yeah, it was an experience.
That is. Before we get on to future plans, obviously this is about like endurance running and long distance running. That's what Nikki's into, and I just hang around in the podcast chat. I do. But what's it look like? How do you train? What's the training week? Is it weeks? Is it months? What do you don't run any further than? Do you run further than 400?
I run a 600, so that's the furthest I run. But so we do it in sort of 4-week blocks. So we'll do this is more like winter training now. At the moment, it's a bit all over the place because I'm racing every weekend.
Often, yeah.
Yeah, but we're in the winter when it's just training. It'll be 4-week blocks. So it'll be 3 weeks of training, 1 week of deload, and in those 3 weeks of training, it'll be Monday gym, Tuesday sprint, Wednesday gym, Thursday sprint, Friday gym, Saturday off, Sunday sprint. So I'm running, 3 days the week? No, 4 days the week. Gymming 3. I can't even work that out myself. No.
Yeah.
Running 3 days a week, gymming 3 days a week. Yeah. So
it's more gym than I thought it would be.
Yeah, that's that. A lot of people say that. Purely because sprinting is a power sport.
Yeah, it's power, isn't it? Yeah, I thought that. I didn't think it's that much, but yeah.
Yeah.
So but it is all power and explosive.
It is, yeah, and it's all like Olympic lifts. So we'll be doing cleans, sort of like all the snatches, and then we're doing loads of plyometrics, and then usual like squats and deadlifts and stuff, just to try and get some strength. So I think the main thing with us with gym is maintaining that like power to weight ratio. So trying not to be too heavy, but also trying to be as strong as possible.
That's mad. And a sprint day, I guess that's just not rocking up and doing a 400 and then going up Wine Street for some grub. How many sprints? What's it look like? Are you sprinting? Not all day continuously, but what's a sprint day?
So I wish it was going up Wine Street for some grub mines. That would be entertaining. But
I'm like always on Instagram. I'm always like, oh, where is that, Han? Where is? Because I live in Birch Grove, so I'm like, I need to go there for food. I need to go there for food. You do like your food as well, don't you?
I do. I like my brunches. Yeah, everyone says I need to post more on Instagram and not so much brunches. So, but no, my sprint training is like it's a lot of interval stuff. So it really depends on like what we're aiming for at that time. So at the moment, it'll be like we call them like split 400s, where we might do a 300 meters, then 45 seconds, and then you've got to sprint 100 meters afterwards, which is it sounds easy on paper, but it's really tough. Really, really tough, and it's very like high intensity, interval stuff. So a lot of reps, with short recovery, or one big rep with a very, very long recovery, and then you go again. But our training sessions last between 2 and 2.5 hours, so we're not there all day, but we're there for a big chunk of it.
Still quite a time on the track, yeah.
Yeah, still a lot. Warm up takes about an hour and a half, mine. So that takes up the most of it.
What is your warm up? Just a lot of dynamic and jogging, or is it specific?
Yeah. So the first bit will be just a jog. Like you probably laugh at this now, Nikki, but our like warm up jog is like 400 meters. So yeah, and that's all we do. And even then, it's pushing it. We might jog like 100 meters and then walk 100 meters.
Whoa.
But yeah. So but then it'll be like a lot of dynamic stuff and some like specific sprint drills.
Yeah,
which takes a long time.
That's mad. So, and you're flat out running now. You don't work as well at the moment, or do you work as well at the moment, or what's the employment situation?
I do work. Yeah, I do work.
Do as well.
I
Bloody
do
hell.
work. I know. I don't know how many I have hours in the day, but I work with children who aren't in education, employment, or training. So young people around Neath, Port Talbot, who are not doing anything.
Neat, right?
Neat. Yes, I work with the Neats. Yeah,
I used to work with the Neats as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I work for the council, and I love it.
I think I applied for that job. How long have you been there?
I've been there for about a year now.
Yeah, I definitely applied for that job.
You saw his job?
Yeah. Is it based in Sandfields?
Yeah.
That's mad.
I'm so sorry. Cut it.
Oh, kick it off.
It's all right. I got a job I love now as well, so it's fine.
Oh, there we are. It's okay.
I guess that's good grounding as well from like your GCSEs and everything. You've been used to being flat out since you were GCSE age, obviously. So it's not new to you or anything balanced. It's hard, but it's a habit now as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and if anything, I think it helps me because, sport and performance sport can be so like full on and mentally draining that it's lovely for me to have something else that I don't have to think about sport. Whereas I think if I did athletics 24/7, I would drive myself insane. Whereas it's nice now having something outside and I go, right, okay, I ran rubbish on the weekend, but do you know what? I've got to go to work tomorrow and I've got all these young people that are relying on me, and it puts everything to perspective, which is it's really lovely.
Amazing. And they're flexible, isn't it? Because you can just be goners.
Yeah, it's flexi working, which is lovely. So like, for instance, if you work up your hours, you work your hours, it's really nice. If I've got something that's happening at 4:30 in the afternoon, I will work my hours beforehand and then jet off at 4:30 in the afternoon. So they work are absolutely amazing with me at the moment. They really get it. They're really supportive, and I honestly I couldn't do what I'm doing without the support that they're giving me. Like, as cringy as it sounds, but they are a big part of this process as well.
Definitely. Excellent. So what's coming up? What's the future plans? You're 26 now, Han, right?
Yeah, 26.
Yeah. So what's the next couple of years' goals?
Next couple of years. Well, there's obviously something big happening this summer. So the Olympic Games is on the horizon. Maybe we'll see. I'm very, very touch and go at the moment. If I run really well and bring down that time again, then it could be a possibility. I don't want to write it off, but at the same time, I'm so new to this event that if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. But I would like to make the next one. That is definitely in my eyesight is the next one in LA. That would be lovely.
LA, yeah.
If the Commonwealth Games go ahead, amazing as well. That would definitely be there. But yeah, just progress and then keep enjoying it. I think that's the main thing with me is if I enjoy it, I run well. So
Excellent. Cool. And keep working, obviously. So I think we've gone through everything from school right up to what the plans are going forward. Fingers crossed for this Olympics. I'm surprised, because it's soon, isn't it? I thought they'd have the squads wrapped up and everything.
No, so the selection for athletics is the 1st of July. So
Wow.
the turnaround is like a 3-week turnaround, something ridiculous. Like you've got to leave in 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's very soon. So and the trials.
Is that try and give it much time to get into form, and then they're going to pick closer because they know who's more in form? Is that sort of why they do that?
Yeah, pretty much. I think. I mean, I'm not sure about the ins and outs of the selection, but it's they do. I think they do it so that they know who is in shape and who's not.
Yeah.
And it also gives people a longer opportunity to qualify. So they've pushed it right until the very end, so that people aren't missing out. If they selected the team, say a couple of months ago, and then someone came into form, but it's too late. So it makes sure that they can have the strongest team possible out there.
Makes sense.
When's trial?
Trials are the last weekend of June. So,
where?
In Manchester, very close to Swansea. Nice little travel up to Manchester.
You get to Paris quicker.
Get to Paris quicker, yeah.
We spoke to Dewi about that when he was going for the marathon time as well. It's a nice one. If you can get in there, obviously great. But I sound patronising when I say that, don't I? But it's a nice little family and friends can get to Paris a lot easier than you can get to LA as well. So fingers crossed for Paris, but fingers and toes crossed for LA if not as well, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, definitely.
There we are. Cool. Nick, have you got any other questions before we take a quick break and then have a look at the Q&A off Instagram?
No, I think we've touched on most things, like I say, all the way through, and enjoyed that. Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
because you don't, like I said to Nikki just before you came on, when you're growing up, fastest is God, innit? You want to be the fastest person in the yard. I'd rather be the fastest person than the hardest person in the school. Everyone just wants to be fast, innit? And you've been blessed to be fast as well, so happy days.
It is quite funny when we're in work as well. I think it's I had a comment from one of the young people I was working with going, and they don't have a clue. Okay, so some of the kids I work with, they don't have a clue what I do, running wise, which is quite funny because they were like, "Well, I'll just run away from you," and then I literally turned around. I was like, "Well, good luck." And they were like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, come on, see what you could do." Off you go.
As long as it's not further than 400, you're in trouble.
Yeah. So yeah, don't go running miles on me now because I'll do 400 and I'll be done.
Before we do take a break, what about when all this is said and done now and you've hung the spikes up? Half marathons, distance running, or?
Do you know what? Yeah, maybe. I've always said that I want to do I'll obviously start with a park run. just try and get myself up to like a 5K. but I would love to. Like, I think it would be amazing. Like, what an achievement! And I'm always so jealous of those like who are able to complete like half marathons, marathons. And I'm like, wow, that is impressive. Like, so impressive. So I think it would take me a lot. Like, my body is so not like in tune with any of that. So I think, you know, it would take me years and years to get to a point where I could actually complete one. Because that's one thing everyone says. They were like, well, surely like you must be able to run a marathon. And I'm like, no. Like, my muscle fibers just, no, absolutely not. They would scream. Like, absolutely not. So yeah, maybe in the future, but yeah, it takes years.
There we are. Great. Right, we'll take a quick break and then we'll jump back on for this or that and the Instagram questionnaires.
Cool.
Welcome back from the break. We've got Hannah for a little bit longer, this or that, question and answer, and then see if we can catch the clouds are out now. And I'm not far from Neath, so I think it's cloudy where you are as well, Hannah. I do apologise. But let's dive straight into the this or that with Nikki.
Yeah, right. First up, I think we've already got the answer. 100 or 400?
Oh, 400.
Lane 1 or lane 8?
Lane 8, 100%. Lane 8,
yeah?
Every day.
Is it because 1 is so tight, is it? Like, I don't know on track.
One is so tight. Lane 8 is fine. As long as you can't see anyone, which is, you know, one of them things. But lane 8 is so much. Yeah, you're just going to run quick so that they don't catch you.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Out hard and hold on.
Yeah.
With spikes, socks or no socks?
I think you broke up then. What did you just say?
In your spikes, socks or no socks?
Socks, definitely.
Yeah.
We have arguments about this in training all the time. All the time. So if any of my training partners are listening to this now, it is socks in spikes.
Would you rather do a beer mile or a marathon?
Oh God, I think I'd complete the beer mile more than the marathon at this rate. 100%.
Yeah. Beer mile. And last off, would you rather PB or win a race?
PB.
Yeah.
I think because you know this sport is so individual, and you're working on yourself that PBing feels amazing because you know that you've put all the work in and you've worked towards it. Whereas if you win a race, it's sort of you're relying on like external factors, like someone else could have had a bad day. Whereas if you PB, you've put everything into that race and it's all on you.
Good answer. I said, go over to you for the question and answers.
Yeah, I'm just looking for them. I looked at my phone and it was on 1%, so I think it cut up because I had to pull the charger out of my laptop and put it into my phone, so I do apologise for that.
It's all right.
Right. Q&A, where, I think we've touched on it a little bit, but where's it gone? Where would you like the Commonwealth Games to be?
Oh, where would I like them to be? I'd love them to be in Australia. That would be amazing. But obviously that's not going to happen. So I think, that is like me. We said it as in like we'd love for it like to be in Cardiff, and that would be amazing for me. I know I've said I was like, I'd love to go away because I've done like Glasgow and Birmingham, but imagine that home crowd in Cardiff. Like that would be outstanding.
That would be good.
Cardiff.
It would.
Yeah.
Good. Who is your favourite training partner? These come in from obviously people.
These are coming from my training partners. Who's my favourite training partner? I can't pick favourites. You're all my favourite. But who is my favourite training partner? No, I don't have one. They're all really good. All of us push each other. But I can probably put bets on who that is. Who said that? But yeah, no, I like them all.
I can't find it now, so you'll have to check. But I think they must be private. So when you shared it on the story, they've come through to me. But I think they've vanished now because we weren't following them or vice versa. Always learning on this podcast, didn't we?
Always learning, yeah.
I do know who asked, who is your favourite uni friend, though. So These are dangerous, isn't they?
Yeah. Easy,
My
mate. Difficult.
Honestly, my friend, my favourite uni friend, right? So I'm actually going away with them all next week. We got one of them is getting married,
Oh.
so we're all going away next week, which is really exciting. But oh god,
Unless
I
you pick
can't
the
think
wrong
about
one,
it.
and then it's not very exciting at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't pick one of those. We may all argue, so let's not go there. Oh good god.
Do you want to know who it was? Or
Yeah,
should I tell
go
you
on.
after? It was Aisha Markham. Is she going
Obviously,
away?
she's going away. Yeah, Aisha's going away. Yeah, that seems like a
Brilliant.
typical Aisha question.
Um, so I've got a question. Have you got your intro and your game face sorted now after that first Commonwealth?
Oh, have I? Do you know what? I just go for the usual, just wave and smile like that. You know, like typical smile and wave now. If I've got
Yeah,
a
there's no
Welsh vest
secret.
on, I'll do that thing where I'll like draw across the Cymru bit. Um, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
I keep it simple.
And the question we always use, so this you'd either be prepared for this if you listen, or if you don't, this is going to catch you left field.
Okay.
Who would play Hannah Brier in a movie about her life?
Oh my gosh. Who would play it? I want to say, like, you know, Phoebe from Friends.
Yeah.
Like that's just me all over. It would be Phoebe from Friends, yeah.
Lisa Kudrow. Excellent.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go now, and I'm gonna put Lisa Kudrow's head on your running body, and then we'll
That'll be
I'm
shared.
joking.
I know what I was gonna say.
That's what we should do going forward now, just to tease the next one. This is what they picked.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. That was fantastic, Hannah. Really, really enjoyed. It's really nice to like see what it's like from the other side as well, I guess. Nick, have you got any questions? Anything we missed?
Don't think so, mate. Yeah, that was good insight. 'Cause obviously, I do a lot of longer distance stuff. So yeah, and obviously being a pro runner as such, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed for you now for the upcoming races and Olympic game selection. Hopefully, you get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers
Thanks for coming.
crossed.
Thank you.
We are fantastic. Thank you very much, Han. Nick,
No worries.
want to wrap it up?
Yeah, that's it for us for another week. So we'll see you all soon on a start line somewhere. Maybe Saffron on Wednesday night down in Cardiff. If you are, see you there.
There we are. Fantastic. Thank you, Han.
Thank you.
Cheers.